Okay. Hello and welcome everybody. I believe we are live. This is YouTube. If you're watching me here on this camera, this is hello to everybody on YouTube, and this is hello to everybody on Facebook. So, welcome to the very first podcast, One Small Town podcast with me, Michael Tillinger, of 20 off on a very high note. I'm getting messages that my internet is unstable. I hope that is not going to continue. I've run around and I've done everything I possibly can to get the best Wi-Fi and internet connection in our little town. So a note on the chat group to let me know that you can hear me and you can see me. And for those that have joined us, fundamental idea of One Small Town is in the name. We are bringing prosperity and abundance to small towns of the world. No matter where you may be, no matter what country you are, you can join the One Small Town initiative, use the platform, use the strategy that has been developed over nearly 2 decades, and start putting this together, you as a community, and literally start putting the pieces. Includes you, your family, your friends, everybody in your community. So the thing about One Small Town, what I find interesting, is that not everybody gets it. Not everybody gets it. And I think there are like three different types of people. People that get it immediately. They take one look at our website, or they watch a video that like the idea, but they don't quite get it, and they want to learn a little bit more. They want to take a little bit more time to digest it, and then they get it after a little while. As soon as they get into it and they start to understand it, they realize, oh my goodness, that are just so scarred by the terrible world we live in, and by the dishonesty from governments and big corporations. Don't get it, and they don't want to get it, and they dig their heels in and say, this is never going to work. I don't care what you tell me. It's human nature and all this. Those people that really don't get it start to learn from the small successes that we create. And this is what this is all about, is that trying to jump into the deep end and doing big things and big ideas and big projects is not the greatest idea. Business will tell you that that's the best approach. And that's what this is. That's really what One Small Town has become. It has become it is work, what to do, what not to do. We keep learning from these experiences. And that's why the initiative gets stronger and stronger all the time. I keep getting messages that your connection is unstable. I'm so furious with my Wi-Fi service provider. We have spent so much time on this. So if you can see me and hear me, I'm very happy. But I will only discover that after this live stream, and I'll find out whether this went out successfully or not, because I have no way of checking while we're actually live. And so let's see how this goes, right? Hopefully the one on Facebook is going to record successfully, so we can use that if the one on YouTube lets us down. So I can see that there's Birgit from Germany, and we've got somebody from Ghana that's joined us. That's wonderful news. I'm not sure who's joining us on Facebook. Send some messages so I can see any of the comments in here. In the past, it's worked very, very well. Then at least I know that you can hear me and that I'm actually going live. Fantastic to learn all these lovely things. I will have to make a different plan with the Wi-Fi. I thought I solved it, and let's see. Right, so the three kinds of people, that really either get it or and they don't get it. So the other important thing is One Small Town isn't going to happen on its own. Some people have this idea that, okay, great. They email me and say, oh, we want to do One Small Town, Michael. What should I do? Can you come and help us? That's not how it works. Imagine if 100 or 1,000 people email me and they all want to start One Small Town. I can't be in all the places at the same time. I can help, I can guide, I can share with you my experiences, our experiences, things that I've learned personally over the last 15 years, things that we've learned over the last 4 years with our new team, our management team that is growing with such beautiful people that have joined us, that is now officially the One Small Town International Management Team. So I can share with you, I can guide you, we can help you, but I can't do it for you. We need strong, brave leaders, leaders that have a vision, leaders that get it, leaders that understand it, people that know how to inspire others and that are prepared to stand up in their community and lead by example. Take this bull by its horns, this One Small Town bull by its horns, and lead it into your community. That's what we need to do. Those are the kind of people we need to find. Now, it's interesting. There are two types of people that we can launch One Small Town with, and I'm going to get to that a little bit further in today's podcast. Two types of leaders. We can either start with community leaders, people that are not good with business, people that are really strong community leaders that help communities to develop and do community projects and community upliftment programs and so forth, and youth development and empowerment programs. There are so many very talented people in our communities. We can start with those, and we can start without having to worry about businesses and business plans and all that corporate stuff that we have to do if we want successful businesses that make profit with profit distribution and so forth. That is the role of the ambassador and the management team that the ambassador puts together. But there's also the role for the One Small Town community leaders that take this bull by the horns and start to do community development programs. And for me, that is the most exciting thing that I'll talk about in much more detail, so that you can get excited, you can get inspired, and you can realize that you can start this tomorrow if you have what it takes. I will help you. We will help you, guide you, help you on the platform, how to fill in the forms, how to log the different community upliftment programs and projects. So each one is a listed project on its own and so forth. But I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes after I've gone through a few other motivational ideas that I want to share with you and share with everybody. So first of all, I want to tell you that this year has started off on such a high note for us here at the One Small Town head office. First of all, if you're not aware, in South Africa, that's where I'm located, in South Africa, the year comes to an end normally on November the 15th, and it restarts again in January the 15th. So around January the 15th, around there. So the entire country shuts down. The schools shut down for the end of the year. The companies shut down for the Christmas holidays. Everything shuts down. Production shuts down. So it literally is impossible to do anything, to have anything manufactured or built or designed or anything like that. So that's been an interesting challenge, and I guess I've had to come to terms with that we building our new technology, our what I can say our world-class recycling technology. So I can say that the technology that we've developed over the last 12 months is probably the best. It's either the best or it's among the we're just flying by the seat of our pants. We are now doing the recycling as with the technology that we've developed. We are building more machines. We are setting it up for the USA and setting up for the UK. So when we launch in the USA and in the UK, we've already had a few months of trial and error here in South Africa. So by the time we launch in other countries, especially in the USA with our wonderful United States and this amazing team and various other ambassadors that are sitting in the wings, waiting to launch with us. This is going to be absolutely huge, and that's going to give us the funding that we so badly need to help manage our head office. But again, as I said previously, until that time, until about 6 months from now, when our website, sign up as a patron and make a small donation every month, whether it's $10 or $5. Some people can afford $100. Some people can afford $1,000. This is a call to all the wealthy people out there who want to make the world a better place. This is your opportunity to help once the stress and frustration that I've faced on an ongoing basis for so many years, and especially in the last 12 months while developing this technology, I've been going and so forth. So become a patron of One Small Town. make a contribution that you can afford. Obviously, the more the merrier, the more the better for us. So very exciting times. We've also started, let me say this to you, we are at a very advanced stage of organizing a food. We are busy developing that and turning that into a world-class food distribution network that'll do many things, because once we have that food network set up, that then allows us to do contracts with farmers that can grow food directly for one small town, and they don't have to worry about where they're going to sell their produce. So we can then sign agreements with farmers across the world that can produce food. Will be ready. Excuse me. We'll be in a position, I reckon, in the next 6 months to start doing those kind of deals. The food distribution network will be in a position, I reckon, in the next 6 months to start doing those kind of deals. The food distribution network is a very important thing also for our seed treatment technology, so we can then help the small farmers with the very specific and special seeds that we are going to start developing. Once we've stopped this development of this first technology, they're going to move on to the next technology, right? We can't juggle all the balls at the same time. We're only so big. We only have so much money at our disposal. So we're going to need to be very careful what we do when. But at the same time, everything is ready for you as an innovator, as a go-getter, as an entrepreneur, as a like to make the world a better place. And you know there is a way. You've come to the right place. One Small Town is that group. One Small Town is that initiative. And is it running smoothly? I'd love to know if you can hear me clearly without too many breaks and glitches. So, right. So the thing about this, as I mentioned, we can't start the One Small Town. I can't start it for you and your community. Somebody in your community needs to put up their hand and say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'll either sign up to be an ambassador or I'm a strong community leader. I'm beginnings with small successes. One success this week, another small success next week, another small success. And before you know, you've got a whole string of where our members get together and do all kinds of things, uplifting their communities, making their communities better, more beautiful, and more cohesive, more united, bringing the people together and making people remind people how awesome and how beautiful it is when we cooperate and collaborate, when we work together, and feeling that power of cooperation, collaboration, and camaraderie in community projects of that kind will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a very special feeling. So sitting on the fence is not going to help. So I'm urging everybody, if you are in a position if you have enough time on your hands, that you can get involved, perspective of activating One Small Town in your community, either as a business leader or a community leader. This is the time for you to put your hand up, reaching out to us and signing up as potential ambassadors and potential community leaders. That is one of the most exciting things that is happening right now. The car isn't going to wash itself. You need to go out there and either pay somebody to wash your car, or you need to wash your car yourself. So which is it going to be? So let's get off the fence and do something. And complaining about the world is okay. You know, the world is a terrible place. We all know it. It's horrible. And the government is doing this, and the companies are doing this, and all that's terrible world, terrible place to be. Well, we got to stop that. Stop complaining about the world. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. Not going to get your family anywhere. Just like sitting on the fence is not going to get you anywhere. Complaining about the world is not going to get you anywhere either. Let's start talking about solutions. And that's when you see how excited you get. The moment you start talking about solutions, the moment you change your mindset and you start to imagine how you can solve the problems in your town and your community, you start coming together with other people in your community, and you start brainstorming and solving this problem and that problem, and how are we going to do this, and where are we going to find enough food to start a food kitchen, where are we going to find enough tar to fix the potholes, and so forth. Once you start coming together with other like-minded people in your community and you start sharing ideas and coming up with solutions, man, let me tell you, that is such an important activating moment, not only for you as an individual, but for the activity that follows. And you can clearly see that I get excited when I talk about this because I speak from experience. I have done this in my little town of Waterval-Boven here in Mpumalanga, South Africa. In 2013, when we started to fix our town hall, when we started to pick up the rubbish in the town, when we started to put together the community kitchen, it was spectacular. There was such an amazing feeling of togetherness, of unity, of what should we do today? What are we doing today? And it was absolutely incredible until the government and municipality got involved and they destroyed everything. And it was really at that moment that we also learned that we cannot work with government as partners. I'm talking about as a partner or municipalities, because they have very different intentions. It's all politics. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all show and no action. So One Small Town is for the people, by the people, and that's exactly what we do. Because we know that the power lies with us, we know the power lies with the people, and that's what we do. We get off our backsides, we get off the fence, and we start to do something. So stop complaining about the world. Let's get to work. Stop sitting on the fence. Let's get off the fence and roll our sleeves up and get going. Right. So this is another word, another wonderful thing that I've picked up over the many years while promoting the One Small Town initiative. I use the word utopian. We all want to live in a beautiful utopian world, right? And then some people get all upset. It's like this crazy thing that people say. People think that the word utopian is some sort of a conspiracy. It's some sort of a nonsensical, imaginary, crazy word. You'll never reach utopia. You'll never reach a utopian society. Utopian, and they see utopian as a negative word. And I've found that absolutely mind-blowing, because that's how our minds have been poisoned by the current system. You say something beautiful and it's interpreted as something ugly or negative. So let's use the word utopian for what it's supposed to mean. It is beautiful. It is something we strive for, something we want to achieve. It's like paradise. It's a utopian world that we all want to live in. We all want to have beautiful lives. We all want to have enough food. We all want to get the right education for ourselves and our children. We all want to feel secure. We all want to know that we have work and jobs and job security and food security and healthcare security, that we know that we are taken care of by our health system in our towns when we and if we get sick. Hopefully we don't get that sick anymore, because once we start growing healthy organic food and feeding ourselves and our community with this healthy organic food, we won't get as sick as we used to get. We know that that's going to happen, right? You know that. I know that. And that's why it's so critical that we make the world healthy again. Is that Mawa or something like that? Whatever it is. We're going to make ourselves, our communities, and the world healthy again by growing organic, healthy food that we feed ourselves and sell to everybody else. So the word utopian is a good word. Don't be scared to use it, because that is the kind of world we're aiming for and we're going for and we're creating. A beautiful utopian world for all of us, our families, our children, our communities, and everybody in it. Don't let people talk you down when you use the word utopian. You correct them. You remind them of what the true meaning of utopian is. So I just thought I'd throw that in there, because I just found it absolutely mind-blowing over the years how the moment I started using the word utopian, people get all negative. Oh, that's impossible. Such a utopian is such a utopian word. You'll never achieve it. Oh, really? Well, look at us now. Look where we are as far compared to where we were a year ago, compared to where we were 2 years ago. It's unimaginable. It's unbelievable what we've achieved. How much support we have, how many incredible ambassadors we have, and growing. The technology we have, and more technology in the wings waiting for us to initiate that as soon as this one has been launched. It is incredible. I tell you, if you don't know this, I can tell you I know this. Everything that has happened with the One Small Town initiative since 2007, when I first started to talk about this crazy thing called contributionism, and how could we make our communities better without necessarily the need for money, and then it evolved into this. So I can tell you that everything that has happened has been absolutely divine intervention every step of the way. I had nothing to do with this. It was totally 100% divine intervention, showing me the way, guiding me along this convoluted path, because I never would have been able to identify where to go next or what steps to take next. That brought us here right now, where we have success and utopia literally at our feet. We're standing in the doorway of this beautiful utopian world. It's up to us to create it. Are we going to create it for ourselves, our families, and our communities, or not? It's entirely up to us. So, where was I? Oh yes. The other thing about the idea of utopian. The divine intervention. That's what I was all on about. Yes, let the divine guidance bring me back to my train of thought. So I absolutely believe that this has been total and utter divine guidance, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful for that, because I personally could never have planned this to get to this place with the incredible people that have joined our team, from the management side to the strategic side to the financial side to the technology and the inventors, the engineers that are working in the factories building our amazing technology. Unbelievable. The designers, the designers we are working with, they are so insanely good that if you want anything designed, if you come up with any idea, they think about it, they plan it, they design it, and they present it to us. Say, here it is. It blows my mind. So let me continue, because otherwise I'm going to get stuck there. So remember, we're building utopian communities of abundance and prosperity, one small town communities that is good for everyone. If it's not good for everyone, it's no good at all. We need to ensure that everyone is taken care of. No one homeless, no one hungry, no one without work or a job, where everybody feels respected for who they are and what they're contributing to their community. The moment you become a member of one small town means you're contributing towards the well-being of your community. And that feeling is going to grow and grow. And you're going to want to contribute more, because it's going to make you feel good about we are told all the time, oh, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you'll never achieve this, you'll never achieve that, this is too hard, this is too difficult. Don't even attempt doing that, because you can't succeed, it's impossible to do that. Well, we're doing that. We don't say no, we don't take no for an answer. We keep growing, and if this doesn't work, then we change our direction and we make it work a different way. And that's why it's brought us here to this incredible moment in history. So no one homeless, no one hungry, everyone respected and honored for who they are and what they're contributing to the well-being of their community. And that's when you have a beautiful, united, cohesive community who understands the value and the importance of standing united, cooperating, collaborating on everything we need. That's the only way forward. If you can't believe, if you don't see yet that this is the way we're going to survive as humanity against the onslaught of some very nefarious, evil groups around the world that are trying everything to divide us. They use every divisive tool and tactic to divide humanity, divide communities, divide people by race, by creed, by religion. They are non-stop trying to divide us. And boy, they are succeeding to a large extent. So every time you hear anybody being divisive about race or religion or anything like that, just imagine one small town and realize that we already have a solution. Because we, as the One Small Town Initiative, we don't do DEI. We base our respect and mutual respect for each other based on who we are and what we contribute towards our communities. DEI and reverse racism remains racism and remains a form of discrimination. We cannot be involved with that. We reward each other based on what we contribute individually and collectively to the success of our community. So I can tell you without any shadow of doubt, because I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades now, that the One Small Town Initiative is most likely the most non-racist initiative, the most non-classist or divisive initiative, and the most non-discriminating initiative that you'll find anywhere. because our doors and One Small Town is open to everyone anyway, no matter who you are, as long as you commit to the One Small Town initiative, the unity, the cooperation, the collaboration, and contributing towards the well-being of your community. It's that simple. And whatever you do must not undermine the success or the potential, the success and the potential success of your community. So very happy with what we've achieved and where we are. If you can't tell it by now, here it is. So the next important thing is this is really addressed at the young people in the world, because there's a huge problem that is happening right now. We are producing so many college degrees and college graduates, university and college graduates that come out of university with all these degrees and the diplomas, and then they all expect to have a job. So my question, and also especially, so this is aimed at both those that come from, I guess, from the slightly more privileged background, the college graduates and university graduates, and those who are stuck in impoverished societies and communities and small towns, and is very quickly becoming the right side of the tracks, because we as the people from both sides of the tracks are putting the track in the community and making sure right side or the wrong side of the tracks. I know that's a metaphoric expression. I'm sure you get what I mean, right? And it just came to mind, and I actually quite like that one. I like that. And you're struggling to find a job or work or anything. Or you're in a small town and you're wondering, how the hell am I going to get out of this? How am I going to find like 16 that's about to finish high school or go to university? So from 16 that's about to finish high school or go to university. So from 16 to like the age of 24, 25, young people that are either finishing school or finishing university. What do you think you're going to do? Where do you think you're going to find a job? There are not enough companies, not enough businesses starting, not enough business opportunities being created by the economic growth in your country, in your city, in your environment, in your state. There's not enough jobs being created by the corporate structures. There's going to be very little opportunities left for you, or presented to you, not left for you. Very few opportunities available to you. And this is where One Small Town becomes so absolutely crucial and absolutely critical. We have the tools to create all the businesses in our towns that you could possibly imagine. It's entirely up to you. The young people of every small town to come together will help develop a whole, or put together a whole youth development training program, a training course that'll help you and your community, other companies and governments, waiting for governments to create jobs, and waiting for governments and other companies to offer jobs and things like that. That's it to all the young people out there. And I really feel a deep sense of concern for the youth of the world today, because of what's happened, ability that's finally arrived in the United States. Hopefully that's gonna be a great guiding light for other governments to follow. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. We'll get beyond this. Let's get the young people in our small towns and in our cities. You can do this in the cities too, but obviously, whether it's agriculture, whether it's engineering, whether it's healthcare, whether it's technology, whatever it is, come up with ideas to start businesses together, get them unite, realize the power of your united stance. The moment you stand together and you start to cooperate and collaborate, you have big ideas. So please, as the young people of the world, go out, read the website, read the One Small Town website, watch as many videos as you can, be a community leader or apply to be an ambassador, and take it from there. We will start to assist you from the office, but we can't assist you unless we know that you're there and you want to engage with One Small Town, you want to take it further. So let me just see what else. Oh, the other problem, obviously, with small towns and young people in small towns, the big thing is that, and this is actually one of the reasons why small towns begin to wither and fade away and start to collapse, because all the young people, when they get to a certain age, when they finish school and they leave school, they either go away to college in the city somewhere, or they go away to the city to find a job. So this is a constant problem across the world. It doesn't matter what country you are. It's the same problem everywhere. However, there is an interesting move from the cities to the small towns, but that's by the rich and the wealthy people who want to sort of retire in small towns. That's a flow in the opposite direction. But as far as young people coming out of school, trying to find their feet in life, trying to find stability and get a job and that kind of thing, a lot of those young people leave the small towns to find a job in the city, and that's a big problem. We want to stop that. We want to do the opposite. We want to help the young people and everyone in the small towns to come up with ideas and help them start their own businesses. My vision is, and this is what I manifest, and I can see it. I've seen it already. You have these visions. I've seen it already, that every small town that becomes a successful one small town will have at least 100 to 200 businesses that they start that belong to that community. Probably 200 businesses. If you take the agricultural sector alone, and you just think about how many businesses you can start within agriculture, from the growing of food, all the different crops, whether it's cereals or vegetables or fruits and nuts, whatever it is, there are dozens and dozens of businesses just from growing crops. That includes packing and repackaging the food and the crops and creating other food products, from biscuits to prepared food and so forth and so forth. So you can just imagine how many different kinds of businesses you can start in your community. And that's just in the agricultural sector and the food manufacturing and food production sector. You could end up making coffee. You can be doing rice. You can be packaging this or that, and canned foods and prepared food and dog food and cat food and animal food for the agricultural industry and farmers. The agriculture alone has the capacity to start dozens and dozens of businesses for you and your community. This is obviously for small towns with agricultural activities. It is an endless opportunity on so many levels. It's up to us to recognize those opportunities, and for the experienced people out there to help the young people in the small towns to put these ideas together and get this off the ground. The One Small Town platform is there. Everything is ready for you. It's just for you, if you're a driven individual, to join us and start doing this with us. With you and your community, and with us helping and guiding and assisting you to get this off the ground. So we want to stop the young people, the exodus of young people and talented people, gifted people that can find jobs attracted to the small towns, because suddenly every small town that starts up has all these businesses starting up, and they might need experts in this, and engineering experts and IT experts. So I anticipate that we're going to reverse the urbanization, and we're going to make people from the cities. Actually, what happens with the current system is that the young people leave the city, or somebody leaves the small town. They leave the town because they believe they're going to find a job in the city. So they move to the city, and they get a shitty little apartment somewhere, and they're desperately going around looking for a job. Somehow you survive to stay in the city, to pay your rent month to month, but you've hardly survived, and you hardly left their towns with a hope of finding salvation in the cities, get themselves stuck in the urban area, in the cities, in the metropolitan, and the small towns are falling apart. Businesses are closing down, things are closing down. Small towns are under pressure. We need to run small town stores activated, getting our technology implemented in our towns. That will reverse that flow of people. Is the absolute Cinderella opportunity for all the conscious millionaires and conscious billionaires to get involved in something that will change their lives. It'll change their destiny, that they change their levels of happiness and a feeling of achievement by getting involved and funding One Small Town activities, finding a small town and choosing to invest in a specific small town. Because once you invest in the small town community, you're going into business and you're going to partnership with an entire community that are your partners, that become your partners. and not just one potential, shyster or crooked individuals that becomes your partner that eventually stabs you in the back. And we know those horrific stories of partnerships. So I believe it's coming. And the first time we're going to see a conscious billionaire or millionaire invest, $100 to $200 million into a small town, setting up many diverse businesses from agriculture to engineering, technology, healthcare, and invest in all the different, and goes into partnership with the members of that community. It's going to be a stampede. And I know you're going to be looking back at these videos years from now and saying, oh my goodness, Michael was right. We're going to see so many more conscious millionaires and billionaires go running, finding the next small town to be able to invest in. And that's when we're going to reverse this whole exodus from small towns, and it's going to become an exodus from the urban metropolitan areas to the small towns, not only for retirement by the wealthy people, but for business opportunities and job and employment opportunities, because we are creating those in the small towns of our countries. So the other important thing I need to talk about is this horrible thing of charity. So by now, I've trusted many of you are already, many of us are already aware of the terrible dark side of charities. And most of the charities of the world, whereas the Clinton Foundation, all those charities, and Bill Gates and all his charities, the Bill Gates Foundation and all these charities, and Soros and all their charities and foundations and all that. And there are so many of them, and USAID and United Nations, UNESCO, whatever, all these funded and then charitable organizations. These are all horrible, horrific organizations. And we cannot continue that kind of activity. When I say horrible, horrific, because most of the money that goes in there is not used on the charitable things that they claim that they're going to use it on. So, they might tell you that, donate this and donate that. And look how long we've been funding cancer research. Really? Don't the big pharmaceutical companies have billions and billions of dollars for cancer research? Why should private individuals be funding cancer research? Just think about that. It's insane. And good-hearted people fund from their pockets and their bank accounts, which are often not very full, right? Fund what they believe is a noble thing, cancer research. If only you knew what happens to that money. We've got to stop charity. Charity is not a solution for the world. And so many people get so emotional. They believe that charity is such a wonderful thing. And they say, charity, yes, I love charitable things. And I want to go and distribute food. And I want to go and feed the hungry and feed the homeless. And I want to bring blankets to the people that are homeless and that are cold and so forth. It might be good. It might be a noble gesture. And it might feel good while you're doing it. But ultimately, it is a terrible scourge that has evolved on our planet. This whole thing of the group that have the money to distributing food. Remember that what I just can't stand seeing is when they drop these food parcels on like what they call third world countries. And all these poor people are running around looking at these food parcels falling from the sky. It's literally, it breaks my heart. It's like, it's the ugliest side of humanity, right? Where those that have are almost feeding the poor like animals. It's despicable. And that needs to stop. We've got to stop the charity, and we got to stop handing out food, stop handing out things to people, and start teaching people how to fend for themselves, how to create sustainability for themselves, how to feed themselves, how to create their own businesses, how to create their own prosperity, how to create their own food gardens, how to be successful, and how to help themselves. That's what we've got to do. All that charity does, all that charity does is create two ugly things. First one is dependency, that there's a whole group of people, and sometimes entire countries or entire regions become completely dependable on someone else from somewhere outside to come and drop some food or bring this or that to them because they don't have it. And that is a terrible, terrible situation. So you as a community, or the people that are dependent on this charitable handout, are at complete mercy of those that either hand out the food or blankets or healthcare or whatever it is. it's a terrible situation. One small town does the opposite. One small town initiative does exactly the opposite. We help communities to help themselves and create stable and solid foundations for themselves, so they never have to accept charity. We will give out food as a community. We will feed our homeless. We will feed our hungry. We will feed those in need. We will hand out blankets. We will give everything that our community needs, but we're not going to do it just as a charitable organization. One Small Town is a community development organization and initiative, and that requires people to participate and contribute. The moment our members contribute, they can get anything they need, anything and everything they need. How can I make that statement? Because once you, as a One Small Town member, if you're a homeless person or you don't have any food, anything like that, the moment you become a One Small Town member and you start to contribute, we have built into the One Small Town model a plate of food every day, a place to live that we can create for ourselves in our community, so nobody is homeless, nobody is hungry, and everybody starts to be respected for what they're contributing to their community. So we're stopping charity. We're doing something completely the opposite. We expect our members to do something in return for being honored and respected, in return for getting a plate of food, do something for your plate of food, do something for all the other benefits that you're going to get, including the cash dividends that come from the profits of the businesses that we've started as a community, obviously. So by now, I trust that many of you know that there are many benefits. The first benefits are obviously your infinity tokens that you get every time you contribute your 3 hours towards your community. You can do that several times or every day, or sometimes even twice a day. So you can be earning up to 2 tokens a day. Those tokens can then be shared in exchange. It's a private members exchange mechanism. The moment you have your tokens in your digital wallet as a member, you can share those tokens. You can exchange it for a bag of corn flour or mealie meal, as we call it in South Africa. You can exchange it for a bicycle or a lawnmower or a lawyer to give you legal advice. You can exchange it for anything. It becomes your medium of exchange. It's a private membership exchange. It's not traded on any outside platforms, so it cannot be crashed or devalued or anything like that. We create the value in the infinity token because we contribute 3 hours towards creating it. So that's why it is called an asset-backed community token, because we've created the value in it. So that's the benefit you get immediately. Second, you get a plate of food every day. Every time you contribute 3 hours to your community, you get a plate of food. So for those people that need food, that's a game changer on a daily basis. You get a plate of food every day. Sometimes you can get 2 plates of food, and you get your token. And thirdly, you get all the benefits from the profits, from the businesses that we start. Now, if we start pharmaceutical and healthcare businesses and so forth, we're going to make a lot of profit in our small town. So that means we're going to be distributing a lot of money to our members every month. So not only are you going to be getting tokens and food, you're going to be getting cash distributed to you every month as well. So you have fiat currency in your wallet as well. And finally, the One Small Town store is where you're going to get your monthly basket of goods. So over and above the tokens and the cash and the food that you get every day, you can go to the One Small Town store and get your monthly allocated basket of goods with your 4 tokens your mandatory 3 hours per week. That earns you 4 tokens with which you can then exchange for your monthly basket of goods. It could be food, it could be bicycles, it could be laptops, whatever it is that we've built and created for ourselves that we choose to distribute to our own members. In the end, we might be distributing fridges to our members and, like I said, laptops or lawnmowers or whatever it is that we create for ourselves that goes onto the shelves of the One Small Town store. We are not doing charity. We are doing community upliftment, community development, community empowerment, and creating stable, sustainable communities of abundance and prosperity with infinite potential. And I love that word, with infinite potential, because it's up to you, your family, your members of your community. What do you want to do? Come up with the ideas, come up with the plans, and do it. Write the business plans and do it. Let's raise the money. Let's do it. Really. This is what we're doing. And obviously the community upliftment programs, that's a whole nother very important aspect of it. The things that cost money to do, the things that our municipalities don't have money to do because they've squandered it or stolen it or used it on something else. So they stop fixing the potholes, they stop cleaning the parks, they stop servicing the sports fields, and our community slowly but surely starts to fall apart, and you can see the degradation everywhere. Pretty much in small towns all over the world, you can see it. South Africa obviously is an extreme example, because we went from one of the leading countries in the world as we came, in terms of technology, infrastructure, rail, roads, highways, everything worked, everything was beautiful because it operated under the apartheid system. The moment our new government took over, all that technology stopped, and it seems to have been raided by our wonderful governments that I'm not going to discuss any further, because we don't want to start alienating anybody, because One Small Town is open to everybody. So the towns are falling apart. We have a solution. And if you haven't heard me say this yet, let me say it again. One Small Town has a solution for every single problem that we face as the human race. Now, you're possibly thinking, my God, what an arrogant prick. How can you even make that kind of statement? Well, I can tell you, I can make that kind of statement because I've been doing this for so long. I've held hundreds and hundreds of workshops in more than 35 countries, meeting people face to face, from 3,000 people in an auditorium to small groups of 20 people in long, 3-4 day workshops to full weekend workshops. And we have never come up with a problem that we could not solve in those workshops. All you have to do, you have to take that problem and insert it into one small town situation, and then figure out how we got this problem as a one small town community, where we are working together, cooperating, collaborating to solve the problems, to do what is good for our community, to create food security and distribution and healthcare and all these things. And you realize how incredible it is, the fact that we can pretty much solve any kind of problem that you come up with. And that always brings such a smile to my face and joy to my heart, because I know it to be true, because I've been through this for so long, and I know how many people resonate with this. I know that there are already people out there watching this, and that will watch this in time to come, that will hear the statement and realize, yes, we can solve any problem that we face. We just have to do it together, united, in a cooperative way, aiming at providing a solution for the community, not a solution for one greedy individual or the shareholders of a company or the government that tries to create more red tape and bureaucracy to restrict our rights. No, we're finding solutions that are good for our community, good for everyone in our community. So these are all very important moments and little ideas and little nuggets for us to digest and polish them and let them ferment and get stronger and brighter in your mind. And as you think about it, think about any problem. Think about any of the problems that you think are insolvable in your community, and then think of it from a perspective of being part of a one small town community. How are you going to solve that problem? And I can promise you, if you think about it long enough, you will come up with a solution. I don't have to come up with a solution for you. You yourself and your family, your wife and your children will most likely come up with a solution. There have been many workshops that I've done where they were young children from like 10 years old to 10, 12, 14, 16-year-olds. And they get so excited about all this because their minds just run wild. And they don't think like, adults that have been beaten by the system for our entire lives. And we feel that, we're the victims of draconian governments and all this kind of stuff. The young people out there, they think out of the box. They come. Right. So where are we? We discussed charity. So charity versus contribution. Contributionism is the antithesis and the opposite of what charity does. And how charity destroys communities, turning them into communities of dependency. And then the uglier side of that is entitlement. once you've been distributing stuff to people for some time, they get so used to the fact that every month they get this and this and that and that. The moment you stop delivering whatever it is, boy, I'm sure that many of you will understand what I mean. Many of you may have been in a situation. The moment you stop, whether it's providing financial relief or food relief or health relief or anything else, the people get all up in arms. Where's our food? Where's our this? Where's the doctor? Why hasn't the doctor been here this week? We want all the services we want and we need, but we're going to make sure we're going to contribute our time. We're going to contribute our skills to make sure that what we need is delivered to us by us or those that we empower to bring those to us. So in a nutshell, that is in essence the huge difference between, I guess, capitalism and also charity and contributionism. Contributionism is we contribute to the well-being of our community, and that's how we can drive it. We can manage it. We know we can set targets to achieve things and so forth, and we can make decisions of what we want to do for ourselves and our community. One of the most exciting things that I believe is going to start happening soon, as well in 2025, especially now, is turning our small towns into food forests. I must tell you, one of the very, very exciting ideas that have come up, and we have planned it and imagined it and written it down into a strategy and an implementation plan, and how we can use our seed treatment technology to help treat the seeds and distribute the seeds to the communities, to the high school kids, and create an entire seedling growing program from fruit trees and nut trees, and choose where they grow, where we put what trees, and plan it with the community. We might have to get permits from the council or the municipality to say we're going to plant trees in our streets and so forth, and literally turn our small town into a food forest of fruits and nuts. That's just such an incredible, simple idea, and something that the students at the high school students can do for themselves and their future survival and their future success and their future abundance and prosperity. Imagine 10, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the young students when they were 16, 17, 18, living and getting the fruits of their labor and the food forest that they created in their town while they were still in high school. What an incredible, simple plan and simple idea. So that's just one of the many ideas I share with our ambassadors and our community leaders. And that's the one thing that we, as the One Small Town head office, can do without too much complication, because we have that seed treatment technology that we've developed, that we can help those seeds become super seeds to grow faster and better, produce better fruits, larger fruits, and are more resistant to pests and bugs eating them, and need less water and so forth. So I digressed a little bit, but I'm now going to come back to actually, before I go back to the two ways that we can start One Small Town. I see we've done an hour already, so I'm going to start wrapping it up with a simple reminder that, remember, the One Small Town initiative, we from our side are ready. We have spent the last 3 years building our platform, putting everything into place. It's by no means perfect. It's by no means finished and ready. It keeps growing. It keeps evolving. It keeps getting better and stronger, and it just keeps serving us better, right? It's like AI. The more input we put, the more we design it, the more we develop it, the more we code it, the more integrated it becomes. So, we can help our distribution with our retail stuff, with our banking, with our business plans, with our project management, with the feedback and distribution of our profits and our foods and so forth. So the whole One Small Town platform is ready. It's up to you, the members and the people in the small towns, to grab this and run with it. We are here to help, to guide, to advise, and we will. And I will be there every step of the way with our partners that help advise on the business plans, how to use the platform, how to set this up. The artists for our art gallery, please remember, any artist anywhere in the world can sign up right now, become a member of One Small Town, then apply to be an artist. Once you get approved as an artist, which happens very quickly, obviously, it's all done manually at this stage. So once we approve you as an artist, you can then start to upload your works of art. The moment you've uploaded your works of art, you fill in the forms. There's our curator is there to help, and our support platform team is there to help. If you're struggling with filling in the forms, they'll help you upload it and fill it in. Once you've uploaded your art to One Small Town Art Gallery, you will continue receiving a 10% royalty on all future sales of your art. You're not just going to get a once-off royalty of 60% of the value of your work of art. That's your bonus up front. But after that, every time that work of art is resold by the new owner and resold again by the future owner and resold again, every time your artwork is resold, you earn a 10% royalty from that selling price. So if you become a popular artist and people start buying your art and they're reselling it because others want it and they're using it as an investment and a money-making tool. And art is often used as a money-making tool. A lot of rich people invest in art. This is a fantastic opportunity for artists to continue earning royalties. I mean, imagine your work of art selling for, say, $1,000, the first one. Then within a year or two, somebody sells it for $5,000. You earn another 10% royalty on that. Then suddenly you become really hip and trendy, and suddenly everybody is looking for your art and they're prepared to pay more. So they make an offer on your art, and next thing you know, one of your works of art sold for $100,000 here, and another one sold for $50,000 over there, and you find one in Brazil and one in Australia selling for different prices. Every time your works of art get resold, you earn 10% royalty on that selling price. This is a whole new ball game for artists in the world of art. So if you don't have that, if that penny hasn't dropped for you, join us, sign up as a member, become an artist, and start uploading your art. When I say become an artist, sign up as an artist. So you become a member and you log into your membership account and you see all the different things that you can do, and then you can apply to be an artist under your profile. And then you get approved as an artist. Then you log in again and you'll see one of the buttons says upload your art, upload my art. Very simple. You click that and you start uploading your art. You give it a title, you give it the price, you describe what it looks like, and you write some more descriptions, and your artwork gets turned into an NFT right there and then. By the time you click upload and send, your work of art gets turned into an NFT, and that's how you keep earning future royalties. There's a whole other process that happens, but I'm not going to go through that right now. I've gone through it already in previous podcasts and in other videos on YouTube. So if you're an artist and you know artists, tell them to get their bloody act together and sign up as an artist and upload your art. What are you waiting for? Why would any artist alive today want to sell their art through some agent that they're only going to get paid once? Why would you ever want to do that as an artist? Okay. If you have a rational answer for that, God bless you. But when you realize that you can still get your 60%, which is very good price for art being sold, very good percentage. There are lots of galleries that only pay 40% to artists or 30% on the selling price. One Small Town pays 60% to the artist from the first sale, and then 10% from all future sales. So I've said enough about that. Right, so let's get back to, we're ready with One Small Town. It's up to you, right? To either become an ambassador, lead by example, get your team together, get your 12-month plan together, and get going, right? We're here to help. Or you can start as a One Small Town community leader or One Small Town community project coordinator. So that means you don't need business plans. You don't need to worry about project management to a very small extent. But you don't need to about business plans and bookkeepers and any of that, because community development projects are the key thing that bring people together. And every town around the world, pretty much every town around the world, there are already communities and people doing something to uplift their towns, uplift their communities. So if you belong to that kind of group of people that is already doing something to uplift your communities, you can continue doing that, but just sign up and do it as One Small Town members. So now you'll be earning tokens every time you help uplift your community. So the only thing that a One Small Town, if you want to help or become the community leader that starts community upliftment projects, sign up as a member, then apply to become a community project coordinator. You'll get approved, and then you can start listing and uploading the different community projects. And every project is a separate, or every idea is a separate project, a separate initiative. The one will be picking up rubbish. Other one is filling potholes. Other one is cleaning the park. Other one is helping the food kitchen. The other one is helping with the orphans or the old age home or whatever it is. Whatever community upliftment projects you want to start with the other members of your community. Those get listed on the platform, or the old age home or whatever it is. Whatever community upliftment projects you want to start with the other members of your community. Those get your supervisor at each one of those projects. So you might have your picking up litter in the streets is a project that happens on a QR code reader. You come as a member with your membership card. You scan your QR code reader. The supervisor ensures that you do what you're supposed to do. If you do it for 3 hours and you clock out, you scan your card again, and the QR code reader for that specific project will then clock you out in 2 hours. And then it works cumulatively. So if you log out after 2 hours or whatever it is, next time you come and do your next session, it's your digital wallet. I'm just giving you some of the details so that you know this is all in place. This is all on the platform, all ready for you and your community to start using it. All you need is a driven community leader who knows how to bring their community together, who knows how to inspire the people in your community. You can start doing old age home, the orphanage, the potholes, this, etc., etc. You decide what you want to do. And that's what brings the people together. So those are the community for businesses. What we also then have attached to the One Small Town platform is a fundraising tool, like a crowdfunding raising tool, a crowdfunding platform that you can then launch for people to help crowdfund your community upliftment projects. And you can have, next to the pothole fixing, say we need picks and axes and we need tar and all that. So we need, $1,000 a month to raise. And we will then help you set up your crowdfunding platform on the One Small Town platform that people can contribute directly to you and directly to your community upliftment programs. It's really that simple. All of this is in place. So I know that I've been focusing a lot over the last several months on our ambassadors and our ambassadors and our ambassadors, because we've had such a struggle finding the right people to become ambassadors. And I'm not saying that to undermine the good meaning and good heartedness of the people that have signed up as ambassadors. They just weren't the right profile. They're wonderful humanitarians. They're great community leaders and so forth. But an ambassador is someone that's like a CEO or a general manager that has run big corporations and big companies with many departments, because the ambassador ultimately will be managing and overseeing all the businesses that you start in your community with many different departments. So you can imagine the ambassador ultimately will be responsible for the successful running of all the agricultural projects, all the engineering businesses, whether you start building laptops or fridges or bicycles, whatever it is, or packaging of food, or the distribution of all the stuff, the running of the One Small Town store, making sure that the store runs. The ambassador will be like a CEO, making sure that all that stuff is happening successfully, and have a team of people that know how to manage each and every one of those activities in your small town. So that's a serious job for a CEO kind of minded person who is experienced in running that kind of diverse activity. Not everyone has got those kind of skills. That's why it's been slightly more challenging to find the ambassadors, because we've been looking in the wrong way or in the wrong direction. Now those quality people are starting to sign up. It's very exciting. But as far as starting one small town, we don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for an ambassador. You don't have to wait for that CEO-minded person. If you're a strong community leader, you can start one small town simply by doing what you do best, and that's to help lead your community, bring the people together, come up with ideas. How are we going to fix our town? How are we going to beautify our town? Get the artists to make sculptures and beautiful works of art that can line the streets as when you drive in. So remember, when people drive into your town, the first impressions count. Imagine when people drive into your town and the street is lined with beautiful statues or works of art. You feel like you're in bloody Florence, right? And we're going to go back to the days of Michelangelo and all the great artists when the streets were filled with art everywhere. That's what we need to turn our towns into. There must be art and beauty everywhere. And that's what you as a community leader and your community can be striving for. And you don't need business plans for that. That's entirely up to you to get those community projects off the ground. So, how do we start? Let me remind you once again, how do we start? Everything starts with membership. First thing you've got to do is go onto onesmalltown.org, our website, sign up as a member. It's going to take you 2 minutes. Once you are a member, you can then choose what you want to do. Log into your membership account, click on my profile, and then choose one of the many roles that you can play. Whether you are an IT person or a community project coordinator or an ambassador or a business planner or anything like that. You can then choose what role you want to play. So right now, we're looking for 2 key types of people to launch one small town in your community. That is either an ambassador, which is as I mentioned, quite a hectic, strict, focused, business-minded kind of person and managing big businesses capacity, or a community leader who is experienced and knowledgeable how to inspire, motivate community members, bring them together to work together, to cooperate, collaborate for the greater good and of their community, which means it's the greater good of themselves. To start community gardens, food programs, to start a seedling program, and so much more that you can do as a community project coordinator to help uplift your community without worrying about the business plans on the other side. So I hope I've given you some food for thought to start 2025 off on a high note. We've now done 1 hour and 17 minutes. I hope that this has all gone out live and without any interruptions or breakage or breaks in the transmission. I'm going to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Share the One Small Town message. This is our year. 2025 is going to be the year where the first one small town, Cinderella small town, is going to be born and created. Whether it's in South Africa, in the UK, in England or Ireland, or in the USA, which we are already looking for, it's going to happen in the next several months. And every day we get closer, every week we get closer. So I also want to tell you that our USA team is already looking at the first small town. We are trying to identify the first small town in the USA with our American ambassador and one of our members there that's put up his hand to say, I want to be the ambassador for the first small town in the USA. So we are actively looking for the first small town that's going to be the perfect size and the perfect location that we are going to we're going to turn into the first Cinderella one small town of the USA. And that's going to be a game changer on so many levels because of our incredibly strong team in the USA. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Sending you lots of love, grace, and ease on the journey that you may go. Stay healthy, stay well. And I'll see you next week for our next One Small Town podcast number 9. Until next time, this is Mike Tillinger. Bye for now.